Hey, John, if you have a chance, can you stay on after the meeting?
Okay, so we're going to convene the February 1st, 2022 RPRC meeting. We have 4 items on today's agenda plus 4 sets of minutes that were distributed last week to the committee. I took a look at those minutes and they're all in order. I'll make a motion to adopt them. Anyone?
I'll second it.
Thanks, Jane. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Great. Okay, first up is 14 Green Valley Road. For an addition, we have the property owner and the architect in the waiting room. Let me let them in. Okay, it is Alan Pilch. Good morning, guys.
Good morning. How are you?
We're doing well. How are you?
Busy. It's all good.
Yeah. Good. All right. So you guys are talking about 14 Green Valley.
Correct.
And for the addition in the patio, do you want to just pull up the plans and share it with everybody? Fantastic.
Yeah. So want me to just do a quick run through of everything?
Yeah, please.
So here's the existing house. You can see it's a little tired and aged aesthetically. So the plan here is to re-side the whole house, re-roof the whole house. We're going to put the addition above this living room area here. We're going to add a front porch to this area here. We want to convert this screen porch in the back to a playroom. And we'd like to extend this deck out about 8 feet. Really no work over on this side of the house other than siding and windows. And you'll know from the plans that down off the left-hand side of this photograph, that's where the wetlands is down there. Alan will do a full discussion on that. So just I'll do a quick site review. We're okay on all of our building setbacks, lot coverage, impervious, floor area. We have no issues with any of that stuff. But the areas here where we're talking about in light blue is the front porch, the rear playroom, the yellow is the deck extension, and the pink is the second floor addition. I've got all my coverage diagrams there for you guys to peruse, but it's all good.
Materials for the exterior.
Getting there.
Okay.
So, so in floor plan, here's the front porch. Here's the playroom. It's the exact same footprint as the screen porch. In fact, we're not even going to put a full foundation under it. We're going to use piers to support it all to minimize the amount of digging back there. On the second floor, this is where the new bedroom is going to go. I don't want to say new bedroom. What it actually is a relocated bedroom, because here is the current second floor is here. You've got bedroom 1, 2, 3, 4. We're actually taking bedroom 4 and converting that into a bathroom. And there's going to be closets and a small office space off the bedroom that will have no access to that hallway whatsoever. So there's that floor plan. So you're going to come up these stairs, turn right into the new bedroom area in the front. So we're still maintaining the same 4 bedrooms that exist. I have the septic permit, the original septic permit. I got it from you guys actually, showing that it is a legal 4-bedroom septic. So here's the aesthetics of how we're going to change the front. It's going to be hardy plank siding, Anderson windows with simulated divided lights. The brick is all going to stay. We're going to do architectural roof shingles up on top. Here's the covered front porch with square columns, a little stone base, and a railing. Around the side of the house, we are going to, hold on. We're going to extend the chimney up directly from where it is. This is the new roof line over the bedroom. This is the now actual footage, habitable footage of where the screen porch was, turning it into that playroom. There's the pier down below for the only excavation we need back there. We're adding windows to the side of the house where there currently are none in that living room right now. And here's the side view of the front porch. And going around the other side, there's really no work other than siding going on here. The side view of the porch is a simple shed that ties into our new gables to give the house some nice character. Around the back where the new deck is being extended is pretty much, one step down to grade here. So it's just kind of like a raised patio, but it is not a pervious. It's gonna be a pervious space because of the slots between the decking. And of course, the playroom, that dotted line is the line of the existing screen porch. So we're putting a proper ceiling height and a small gable off the back of it, which was here. So this is the side that faces the woods. Here's the deck extension. It basically goes from about here to here. Railing system steps down because the actual area on this property for the kids to play in is down over on this left-hand side or the south side of the house. So we put a few steps here so they can easily access that from the kitchen door and the playroom door. So if you have any questions on architecture, I'm happy to answer.
That was a really good explanation, Tim. Thanks.
Thank you.
And I think it's a very nice plan, well thought out. The only significant issue I think we have to deal with, and maybe it's not even significant, is the wetland issue, Jane.
Yeah.
It's limited impact, as you saw on the plan and on Alan's plan. It's all lawn now, essentially back there.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's
I really
only
don't-
if,
Yeah, I would
if-
like to see the mitigation plan.
Yep.
Want me to stop sharing, Alan? Do you want to share it?
I think John was saying something, right?
yeah,
What was that
the
now?
disturbance is only a few piers
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
exactly.
the foundation for the front entrance. It's very
Yeah.
little disturbance.
Yeah.
That's how we plan to design it, to do the minimal disturbance at all. It's only 200 square feet of new impervious. We don't even need stormwater in this case.
Correct.
Yeah, you guys.
It's Alan. I'll just say,
Yeah.
that you can see the deck expansion, not even really impervious, is 154 square feet. And
Right.
there's 7 square feet for the new front entry, the new porch that's going in.
Mhm.
And basically what the mitigation plan is, converting what is just the edge of the lawn, kind of behind a stone wall portion, just to plant it. It's desperately in need of something there. Beyond this planting area, it's actually the steep slope going down to the wetland and water course, as you can see where the wetland is.
Mhm.
So it's fairly, it's kind of limited. I don't want to plant on the steep slope. I don't want to disturb it. There's a lot of leaf litter, that's presently there. So basically what it does is it sort of provides, an area where lawn that currently drains into the wetland will have an opportunity to infiltrate and some biological uptake through the plantings that are going in there. That's kind of like the way I was thinking of it. And that whole side of the house there is really the only play area for the children. And that's what they use it for. So I think it'll, give some interest, some year-round interest, and provide some, say, biological benefit. I think that's
Right.
what it,
Yeah, I think I saw on your plan, you're using all native trees and shrubs there for that
Correct.
mitigation.
right. You kind of see the photograph where that area is, at the bottom.
Mhm.
That's kind of like shows where the planting area would be done. That's
So I
just-
think that's a good plan, and it's a pretty minimal buffer intrusion.
Right. I thank you. You're right. It is pretty minimal. There's really very little new impervious, that's for sure.
I'm interested in the hardy plank colors and colors of the roof and the trim. And are you leaving the brick natural?
We're leaving the brick as the color that it is. Hold on.
What color is the hardy plank?
I'm not sure we've chosen one. Alex, are you there right this second?
Yeah.
Am.
Alex, did you guys have a grayish color or a bluish color? What did you guys have in mind for that?
We want to do a grayish blue for the siding, And then the decking, we were unsure yet if we were going to be able to get something that looked correct against the siding. So we might do that as more of a wood color, but to be determined on the decking. But the siding's definitely going to be that bluish gray.
What is the name of that color? Do you have a sample of it?
I don't remember it off the top of my head.
Second, those are some very popular colors right now.
And what's the roof going to be?
Well, it's going to be to complement the siding for sure. It'll be a dark gray, black color. So Alex, I've got slate gray. I don't know if that rings a bell, or night gray. They're both kind of,
It was the lighter of those two, which I
you're looking like a slate gray color.
Yeah, that looks right.
This one here. And it's going to be all white trim on the Anderson windows, and all the millwork will also be white. I can add that information onto the submission plan for the building department. Yep.
I like that color. Nice.
Yeah, it's a popular color. It looks really nice. And the actual roof shingle will be probably either the weathered wood or the pewter wood. They both go really nice with that color gray.
And the trim?
White. Anderson windows will be white, and the trim around it will also be white. So it'll pop nicely off the gray background.
And the railing in the front?
White.
Okay, looking good.
Very
Okay.
good.
So then I'll make a motion to send this to the building department, process it via an administrative wetlands permit, and then Tim, you'll add the material and color information.
No problem.
Anyone want to second that?
I'll second that.
That was
Can
Jane.
I ask
All
a
in favor?
question? Adam, are you going to refer me to the Board of Health, even though it's pretty clear that we're moving a bedroom and not adding one?
Tim, let's just finalize the vote. So
Oh,
all
sorry.
in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
so we got you to administrative wetlands permit and building. That was my motion, but Jane seconded. All in favor? Okay. Health department, that will be up to Rob to take a look at the plans, and he'll decide the building.
Okay.
inspector
That's
what
fair.
that-
Yeah, it appears that it's staying a 4-bedroom
Yeah.
house.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
agree.
it's quite clear, the plans.
Yep.
Right. I mean,
Um,
usual procedure,
make
of course,
it-
is just that they have no objection staff.
And before we go, Alex, do you have any questions or
Well,
concerns?
let me ask you something before you
Yeah.
go. Alan, just for your simplicity, is it possible that the building inspector will not require a no objection stamp? In other words, even a no objection stamp still requires that you go to the health department, submit plans
Yeah,
to the health
he might not.
department
Correct.
to get those stamps, whereas the building inspector might say to you, you don't even need a no objection stamp.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
'Cause
quite-
what happens
it's-
is it has to be generated by the building inspector.
Right,
Just
so
say
what
no.
I'm advising you is just try to go that way as opposed to a no objection stamp. if you
I
can.
agree.
Correct.
Okay.
I agree. I agree, Chris.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All
Thank you
right.
so much. Really appreciate it.
Hey,
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to 14 Cary Drive for the pool. We've talked about this at an earlier meeting, so let me get them back in here. My paperwork. Hello, good morning. Good to see you again.
Hi, how you doing, Adam? How's it going?
Good.
Hi, all.
I love-
So I was just telling the committee, you're back to discuss the proposed pool.
Mhm.
Last time you were in front of us, it was pushed into the side yard setback. You've revised the plans to pull it out. And do you want to share the plans and go over
Sure.
it with us?
I'll,
You know, as-
I'll review it then.
Yeah, and you know, I think the sighting of the pool is better with this plan.
I definitely agree. a little history. The clients are they're almost retiring, two both in the medical field, and they have a big family with grandchildren, and they moved up county and they wanted a pool. And originally we were pushing the pool as far over. The clients were hoping to get as much lawn space, but after discussing both the availability of doing it within the required setback area, as well as potential cost savings because of the rock ledge. I'm very familiar with the area. I've worked on the property years ago, as well as neighboring properties. There's a lot of rock in the area, as you could see.
Yeah.
So we've shifted the pool, as Adam has mentioned, out of the reduced 25 side yard setback, which was a conservation subdivision setback, allowing the pool to meet typical building permit requirements. The pool, little changes. We've just shifted the spa as well to accommodate that. Their goal was to create some sort of a lawn area. We've indicated the well and the setback from the well. I could go through pretty quickly some of Adam's previous comments. Our tree removals have been listed on. We have a total of 7 trees that are being removed, and they've been listed by size. And most are in this area. They're indicated by the X's and have been indicated on plan with the type and size of the tree, anywhere from an 8-inch to 126-inch oak. I did notice we have made in the latest revisions, there's probably one more tree down in this area, another 12-inch maple that on our revised finished plans would probably need to lose. I think we can, the boulder work, we have some flexibility with once we get out there and start working on the area here. Steep slope disturbance was brought up also by Adam. We have a total of 950 square feet of steep slope disturbance. That's indicated on this plan in the darker red here. Everyone can see the plans here. I can zoom in. As you can see, the majority of the property, basically you go uphill to a flatter area where the house is, come down to slopes to a flatter area way down below, and then more steep slopes. In doing the recalculations for the site as well, while the lot is 2.69 acres, once you take into consideration the 25% with steep slopes, we actually have an allowable area of 2.06 acres. Even with those conditions, we are still 3,000 square feet under coverage on the property. So there's no, we're not in coverage problems with regard to lot coverage for the work.
And where do the plans stand with wetland buffer impacts?
No wetland buffer impact. It's way outside of the buffer line. Let me see. Wetlands is off property, and here is the wetland setback buffer is 100 feet, and it's way at the bottom of the hill.
Okay.
So we're 100, probably an additional 150 feet from the buffer even. So we're fine with that.
Right. So I guess we'll John, you just have to agree with that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
I know
okay.
the site, I know the area well, and the
All right.
wetlands is all the way at the bottom of the slope.
So, I think we've resolved the issues here. Does anyone have any comments that we should discuss?
Only comment I might make is there any planting of trees to replace some of those being taken down?
We are doing some screening in this area. We will, I'm a landscape architect, so we're always planting. So we'll be adding some additional plantings, probably more in this, once we disturb this area will get some lower plantings. We're also trying, the advantage of taking them out in this area is as the sun comes over, they'll get some sun on the pool. The house does shade their patio in the afternoon as the sun comes over. But the pool is out in an area where I think it will get some sun and be fine. But we will definitely, they're going to, the property next door has just recently been purchased, and there will be developed, which you may be familiar with plans on that already. So I see that there'll be the potential for a number of screening trees along the property line.
And Jane, you want to see that submitted to the town?
I think it would be nice to see something
Okay.
submitted in terms of some replacement tree planting.
Yep.
Okay.
Understood.
Hey, Lou, where are you putting your, I'm looking at it, I don't quite get the pool fence. Where's the pool fence?
Okay.
Oh, I think I'm seeing it now. Seeing it now.
We have a wall here
Yep.
that we're taking off of. Pool fence goes here, comes into the infinity edge.
Right.
This retaining wall serves as
Nice.
fencing here, and then
Nice.
we come back around to the
Okay.
house in here.
So is your infinity edge, because I know it's the bottom of the wall, it's 518, 522. Are you using your infinity edge wall as a fence?
Yes, that's our goal right now, is to
Yeah,
use
that makes sense.
Yeah,
Uh-huh,
and
I get it.
we've done it a number of times,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know, and that has worked. And in this
Okay.
case, because of the severe drop,
Right.
you know.
And then how are you fencing around once you get to that pillar, that planting pillar? How are you fencing from there around the equipment back into your 4 foot? And how are you fencing past the staircase? You just
Okay,
got a gate there?
we're having a gate down here at the bottom of the steps,
Right. I
and
see
then
it.
the fence will wrap the pool equipment as well
I see. Okay.
to secure.
All right. All right. Do you need to put a landing at the bottom of those steps so that you can step down onto the grade before you open the fence?
Sure, I was planning on doing like large stepping stones over to the equipment area. I don't see this being used other than for service, because
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
the slope is so steep. The only
Right.
way, I mean, I've gone down it, and you've got a couple of options. You can meander down in this area, you can get
Right.
through, as well as from this side.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, it's unfortunate they do have this level terrace down here, and I'm sure maybe their grandchildren will find it and go, but I'm sure my clients will not meander, go down there.
All right. All right. Thank you, Lou.
Thanks.
All right, so I'll make a motion to send this to the building department.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Well, thank you all. We'll take care of engineering that's required for it as well, and make those modifications, Adam.
Great. Okay,
Okay, great. I will stop sharing. Okay, thank you very much again. Have a great day, guys.
Bye, Lou.
okay, next is 3 Carolyn Place for tree removal and regrading. Let's pull them into the meeting.
Progress.
Okay,
Hello.
hi guys, good morning. So you're up, 3 Carolyn Place. Why don't you tell us, you know, what's happening out here? If you have any plans, if you can share them with us. You know, really give us some background as to, you know, what you're doing and why and what your vision is. I've got some comments for the committee, but let's go through your presentation first.
Matthew, are you on? I'll let you take it.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, we hear you.
So I'm basically what Mr. Cooper wants to do is, if you're aware of the houses over on Carolyn, is they really don't have a backyard.
Yeah. Do you have the plans to share, or do you want me to do that?
Unfortunately, they're redoing our computers in the office, so I cannot get onto my.
All right, I can do it. Just give
Is
me-
this the second house on the right or the second house on the left?
So as you go in, it's on the left.
Second house on the left.
It abuts Whippoorwill Country Club.
Uh-huh. Okay.
All right, let me pull it up and I'll share it. Okay. Share screen. Okay, you guys can see my see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, just let me adjust my screen here. Okay, so here's the lot. This is the aerial. Okay, and then here's the plan. Let me, I might even have a better So that shows the tree removals and the lawn area at the rear, but let me show you something else here, if I can get it. I think I have a better picture. Okay, yeah. All right, so this is what we're talking about. So here's the existing house. Here's the septic and lawn, and what the applicant is looking to do is take out, you know, these trees and expand that lawn area back here.
There's actually, where you're going over with the mouse, the front edge of that, we are leaving trees. We're just creating an envelope or a pocket amongst the trees at the top of the hill, leaving a buffer on all sides of it.
Yep. Okay. All right.
How many trees?
I believe it was 21 trees total, but there were a good number of them are already dead trees.
Yeah. And what's the concept here? And you can see the landscaping plan. My thought was, if the idea is to have some more manicured lawn, why not clean up that area, remove all the underbrush, remove the dead trees, and not take so many trees down?
Well, we selected, there's two things. I mean, when you get to the top of his hill, you can see where there's an existing berm there. We don't want to touch any of the berm. We don't want to touch any of the pre-existing infrastructure for drainage that somebody had previously done. Because if you know any of these houses there, the water that sheds off of the country club up there just dumps down that hill. So they've already dealt with that issue as far as his house is concerned. So we don't want to touch that.
Okay.
And if you look at this picture here, you can clearly see the area we've selected to remove the trees is the least dense area of growth, of natural growth. So we've selected that area so that we're not taking the most trees to do this job. We're going to leave as many of the natural trees there as possible and leave a buffer for the neighbors and the country club.
All right. What type of grading are you doing back there?
That's the other item, is in this area, this is a slightly plateaued area. So we're going to be doing a slight drainage, not drainage, grade to pitch towards the existing swale. I wouldn't say it's probably more than maybe a 3% correction over the yard. It is fairly flat in that area. That's the whole reason why this was sort of a feasible plan that's not going to be super expensive to do.
All right. So I think that's it.
Yeah, it just seems from the perspective of the Conservation Board that that's a rather large amount of tree removal on a property that appears to already have some lawn. We're trying to preserve as many trees as possible, which enhances the environment in town, the aesthetics, the habitat, the climate, as a hedge against climate change. And it, in a property where there is some lawn, I'm not sure 21 trees is needed, but.
Well, the issue with what you're seeing here with the lawn, if you were looking at the backyard, it's very steep. It's not even comfortable to walk on. The front yard, the issue is with little children, it is a flat area, but you're looking at that wall, and the drop off there is pretty significant. So any ball that would kick too far or whatever is going to go over that wall and all the way down to Caroline Place. So that's not a safe place for kids to.
No, definitely not. Agree. Yeah.
And if you looked at the site visit, the trees we've selected, they have a lot of damage to them. There are Norway maples coming out. There are a lot of dead trees up in there that we're taking out. You're actually going to increase the quality of the trees in the buffer area by taking these non-native species out, and the dead and damaged stuff that's going to come down and take out the better trees and the buffers.
Yeah, I think that I'm not sure. It seems to be a disconnect, because that's exactly what I'm saying, right? Get rid of all of the damaged trees, get rid of the dead trees. I don't think anyone has any issue with that. It seemed like, however, most of those trees were being removed. Maybe we just don't, are not understanding that. Going back,
if you go back,
it looks like it's almost all of the trees there. Maybe that's not representative of what's happening.
So it's only in the play area. You see, there's a narrow area on the side, on the upper side, where there's a significant number of those trees are actually the dead trees. There's also, when you come back up to where it widens out there to the tree, the furthest tree to the left is like this. It's got to be a 50-inch dead tulip tree. Maybe it's been dead for a long time. That's coming down. As you get further over, we're actually leaving sugar maples and stuff that are in this area that would be more beneficial to Mr. Cooper to take them out. But we are leaving as many of those as possible in order to, we don't want to take out maples. We don't want to take out oaks. We don't want to do that. That's, we're obviously in the business of putting those things back in and, view the environment very, critically. But we also kept the buffer zone for that area to slow down the runoff from the country clubs, to give the neighbors, that natural look that they've come to used to having there. But compared to like other houses that are on this street, this is by far the most environmentally correct lawn area that's being built on that upper plateau. I mean, I worked on houses on that street where it's been terraced and everything else. There's none of that going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, of the 21 trees, how many that you are proposing to remove, how many are dead?
It should have been on the report. I don't
That's
have.
on there.
7. It's 7.
Yeah.
7. Okay, so that still leaves 14 trees that are live. I mean, I have no problem with removing the dead trees, removing the brush, but that seems like a very large number of healthy trees to be taken out.
Let's also let's take into account also that you have invasive species coming out. We certainly don't want Norway maples growing in our environment because they're choking out all of our natural native trees.
Mm.
So we need to sort of throw those in the same category of the dead trees, in my opinion.
There's also a planting plan in here for 10 Canadian hemlock over the next 2 years as well to offset those eliminated trees. So it's really only 4 net trees that are
being lost. Yeah.
Yes. Even some of those alive trees are leaning over. And I should say, this is John. I'm the owner. So I think you touched on this, but my backyard's pretty steep, and I've a 3.5-year-old and a 8-month-old, and there's just not a good area for them to run around and play. So the purpose here, there's the one area of the property that is kind of flat is kind of this area. Once you get up the hill, there's kind of the berm, and then you go back a little, there's a plateau. And it's just kind of the middle of that plateau. As you get to the back of that plateau, we're leaving trees and eventually planting it, those evergreen trees. One, because we don't want people on the golf course seeing us, and 2, we want to keep this as environmental friendly and have as close to a net neutral impact as possible. But the purpose is really to have kind of a flat area where my children, as they grow up, can run around and kick a soccer ball, which doesn't exist currently. It's a great sledding backyard, but not so much soccer.
And the hemlocks will work back in that area because that
that's
appears
my
to
thought.
be somewhat wooded.
Yeah.
Well, hemlocks are an understory tree, so that's the reason we're using them. There has been concern with the woolly adelgid in the past, but we're seeing that the trees are basically coexisting with that disease now. And we do need to get these back into our environment for sure. I mean, if you've ever, hiked down here.
Are there any other opportunities for putting in replacement trees if you're taking out good-sized deciduous trees?
There certainly is opportunity for that, yes. I mean, we could put some native species back in. I mean, also the Canadian hemlock, besides, trying to reintroduce them back in the environment, it's also serving another purposes. The golf balls that come rifling through the woods to try to slow those down so, they don't.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's.
How does the committee feel? How should we direct them?
Well, Adam, I'd like to chime in for just a second. Jane is bringing up a good point about the preservation of trees. I feel like, for example, if the applicant were building a pool, where he's proposing to take down the trees. We would have to take down those trees. I think he's within his as of, if he's within his as of right to take down those trees, because his desire is to expand his lawn, then I feel like, it's his privilege. And the best we can ask him to do is to provide as much mitigation as possible.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, Chris. I think that, if we see a little more mitigation for some of that tree removal, it would, I certainly understand the desire to have some lawn for his kids to play.
Right.
All right, well, how do you want to proceed? Do you want to have the applicant submit that to the building department, the mitigation plan, or do you want to see it?
Yeah. No, I think that would be okay.
Okay. All right, so then I'll make a motion to send this to the building department with the condition that a enhanced mitigation plan be submitted to the building department.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
John, any questions? Does that seem okay?
Yeah, I just, I guess I don't, and I'll talk with Matthew and also my landscape architect. I don't fully comprehend what what that mitigation plan would consist of, but I would.
Well, we could discuss that now, just so there's some clarity.
I
Yeah.
think-
John, when you speak to Bob, he'll understand what we're looking for. We're just looking to enhance the mitigation plan so that you are in effect achieving your open space, okay? But there may be other spaces on the property where he can mitigate the loss of the existing trees on the site.
Mm-hmm. And we're looking for using native species
Right.
in your tree replacement. So basically, we're just looking for a little planting of some native species of hardwood somewhere.
You want a 1-to-1 loss to replacement, or just 1-to-1 loss to replacement on the?
I think that's the goal, but if there isn't room to do it, we understand that.
Right.
So,
Well, you've already got a plan involving the planting of 10 trees. And it appears that there are 14 live trees that are being taken down. So, possibly if you could find room for 4 more that are native species, that would be great.
Okay. And we just submit that to building then,
Right.
we're not gonna do that to you.
Yeah.
Okay,
right. Okay,
sounds good.
All right, thank you.
sure. All right, take care.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have one more for a new house on Byram Ridge Road. Let's let them in. All right, guys.
Good morning.
How are you? Good morning. All right, Byram Ridge Road, you're up.
All right. Hi, I'm Yossi, and this is Amy.
Good morning.
Good morning. Can we give you a brief presentation?
What's that?
Can we give you a brief presentation?
Yeah, please. Yes, that would be helpful. A brief presentation that shows us the site plan, where things are going, and then go over your architectural plans, show us the elevations. We don't really need the floor plan so much, but give us a sense of what's happening on the property, please.
All right. So we are proposing a single-family home on a 1-acre property. The property located at Byram Ridge Road. It is in zoning district R1A. Over the site plan, you will see that we are highlighted. You can look at sheet number A001 for the overall kind of zoning guidelines. And you can see the red line highlighting the setback requirements. So we position the house in a way that it will not comply with all the requirements. The house is positioned and oriented towards southeast, so we can maximize Exactly, all right? Sorry about that. Yes, so we can look at the diagram here at A001, and the red outline represent the zoning requirements. And we are within, and we comply with all the zoning regulations. The house is also located in front of a state pond, and we are very sensitive about its location. And we position the house also beyond the wetland area, so we can comply and create no disturbance at all to the site. The house itself, you can also see that we can, if we'll stay with the boundaries of that diagram on that A002, we're also highlighting all the area which we are designating for the septic and leach field and all the other site requirements. Overall, we are looking at a 4-bedroom home. The style of the house and the design is inspired by local architecture, using natural materials with our kind of own twist of design. Amy, would you like to add anything else?
Yep, so we brought a soil scientist on board and he performed the wetland flagging. So the wetland outline that you see there is performed by the soil scientist. And he's working with the state to confirm that. They got a field agent out there and they confirmed it. So they just need to do some paperwork. So we have no construction in the wetland. And yeah, so we have go to page before to the zoning, A001, you can see that there's a 100-foot wetland setback from the pond, and that is part of the state regulations as well. So we're going to be working with the state to get the wetland permit for them and for you guys as well, local and wetland and state.
So is that the wetland buffer line that you?
Yeah, the blue.
The blue, yes,
right.
and that's for the pond.
No, that's the buffer off the pond. The
Oh,
buffer
so
off
it's
the-
actually much further then. Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh,
the
so
buffer
where is the
off-
buffer?
The wetlands are right up against the house.
yeah, there we go. You're right.
We're very constricted at the back with the wetland, so we've shifted the house as far away from new construction in the wetland while still being able to have the septic leach field in the front. So we're sort of within that
Yeah.
sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you some perspective, it's, very unusual to have a house, at the wetland line, right?
Right.
Just keep that in mind as, we're discussing this. Typically we'll see a 10-foot, 20-foot, 30, 40, 50-foot into the buffer, but it's very unusual to have it at 0,
Yeah.
Just,
So that puts the entire house pretty much in the buffer, right?
yeah.
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 Is
Right,
the
but it is,
septic in the,
look,
is it septic in the buffer?
It depends. It currently our boundary encroaches about 5-6 feet, but it's just sort of diagrammatic right now because we don't have the septic design yet from civil. We do currently have 10 feet from the corner of the house to the wetland. So, the edge of the pool and the deck are basically at 0, or it's about 1 foot or 2, but at least the house is 10 feet.
So, so it's a constrained lot. It's a building lot. So obviously something, a house is going to go on this lot. The real discussion is, where these pieces go, how far away from the wetland we can get it. And that, we have to discuss the size of the house, the amount of recreation activities in the buffer. They're just, there are a whole bunch of issues here that might be beyond the scope of the RPRC. We should discuss that and how we want to proceed, really.
I mean, it just seems to me at the very least, it needs conservation board review.
I mean, I could certainly understand that. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, okay, Adam. So then if it needs conservation, I mean, certainly I agree with Jane, and maybe the easiest way to handle it is just send it to planning. We had another property on Byram Ridge Road recently where it went to planning.
Yeah, that's right. The trees. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
think it makes sense, Chris, for it to go to planning, because if it goes just to conservation, we're still left with an administrative permit.
Right.
I think this really should be a permit, wetland permit issued by planning.
Yeah, and I think, I don't think this would be a drawn out process, right? There's limited opportunities to get the house here. It's really just pinning down with the conservation board and planning board where those
Mhm.
pieces go. So I don't think the planning board process will be too onerous, but there's enough going on here with the wetlands, and given that it's an existing neighborhood, that
Right.
we probably should go that route. Is
There's
everyone?
an adjacent house and they're proposing landscaping more or less behind that house as well. It seems reasonable that neighbor notification should be included in this process.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. You could see the houses are relatively close.
It's a 1A zone.
Mhm. Yep.
Is there a garage proposed?
Yes.
we do have.
And that was actually one of my comments. This back out area is probably not big enough.
Yeah,
You're not going
Yeah.
to be able to maneuver here.
yeah, it doesn't look
Ralph.
like you can.
Yep. Let me see if I have any other comments. Talked about the wetland buffer, DEC, trees. We need to get. I don't know if any trees are coming down actually, because it's relatively clear, that lot. Is that
Correct,
true? Okay. Details we'll need to get later on. But yeah, that backup area, you'll have to take a look at for this bay. All right, so then I'll make a motion to send this to,
Before, Adam,
what,
can we
I'm sorry.
just discuss the architecture a minute?
Yeah,
Okay, I'd like to know the materials.
well, if this goes to planning, Sue,
Right. It's going to go to the
then it has
ARB.
to go to the ARB.
Okay, but I will say that in looking at the architecture and the floor plan, it's really a wonderful house.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, just want to summarize for us, we really did try to locate the house to provide no disturbance to the site at all. We used all the tools that we have to locate the house, between the front where we have to comply with all kind of site regulations for septic and leach field, and in the back facing the pond to be outside of the boundary of the wetland. And I hope, we can preserve this direction moving forward.
Yeah, I don't disagree with everything you said. It's a tough lot. Yeah, we get it.
It would probably help to have a better understanding of what's going to be required for the septic system and your stormwater systems before coming back to the planning board. Just so we know what areas we have to work with.
Yep.
Whether the house could be moved up front a little more or not. Is the septic designed for a 4-bedroom house?
John, this is Ralph Alfonsetti.
Hi, Ralph.
We have not done the testing out there to finalize the design, but we'll do that soon, and this way we'll have an idea if we can pull the house up further.
Yeah,
And we're going to
Yeah,
design.
it's probably going to help us when you come back to the planning board to
Right.
have that information. Because right now there's
Right.
very little detail.
Right, and we'll design it for a 4-bedroom.
Is that what the design of the house is, a 4-bedroom?
Yes.
Correct.
okay. So I'll make a motion to send it to planning board and conservation board.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, guys, so I'd provide as much information as you can to the planning board, get that in. I'm hoping, within a meeting or two, we can get it reviewed, but that's all, it's all predicated on you getting us all that information. So we've got a good set to work with. Okay?
Could I ask one more
Yeah.
question? Is the wetlands that is extended close to the house, is that also state wetlands?
No, that's local wetland. The green, yeah, the green area on that map is local.
Have you had the state out to the site?
Yes, and
And-
they've
and-
confirmed it's just the pond edge that is part of the state.
Okay, and they were okay with you putting the house within their setback?
I mean, we haven't gotten that far yet. We're still working on the flagging and just getting the sort of the map confirmed. But I believe that you're definitely allowed to build within the 100-foot buffer. You just need a state permit. So we're going to get on that as well.
Okay, it'd just be good when you come back in to know where the state stands on these issues.
Okay,
So John, just to repeat something, the green that I see on this map right now is the wetland according to Town of North Castle wetlands. Those are the local wetlands, and the house is being built right on the, right within the buffer, 100% in the buffer.
Of
Yeah.
the local wetlands,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. But the state wetland, I think it's what, about half the house is in the buffer?
mhm,
Yeah, a little less, about a third.
Okay.
okay. Everyone okay?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, thank you, everyone. We can wrap up this meeting now. That was our last agenda item, so.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Take care,
welcome.
Ralph.
Thank you,
We're-
guys.
Thank you.
Have a good
All
day.
right, so
Bye-bye.
we're adjourned at 10:23. Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right,
Thanks.
take care.